What's up, YouTubers? It's Tamoor, and welcome to the latest episode of CVG Off The Record. This week, I'm joined by Chris, Rob, and O&M's Joe Screbbles. On news this week, we discussed Sony allowing PlayStation Vita owners to download classic PS1 and PSP titles, then pulling the functionality. We also talk about Mark Zuckerberg trying PS4's Project Morpheus VR headset before buying Oculus Rift, and what games we'd most like to play using VR headsets. After that, we go into what we've been playing, which includes Hearthstone, which Rob reviewed for us and is hopelessly addicted to. Joe tells us about Nintendo Pocket Football, and I'm still playing Dark Souls, but no one wants to hear about that. After that, we move on to answering some of your questions. As always, feel free to use the chapter select on the right hand side of the screen to skip to the bits you want to listen to, and don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, as well as rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Hello and welcome to CVG Off The Record. My name is Tamoor Hussain and I am joined by Joe Screbbles.
Hello.
If you were a Pokemon, what Pokemon would you be?
Garbodor.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
He's a pile of garbage.
Isn't that Trubbish?
Why would you be a pile of garbage?
He's the evolved version of Trubbish.
Oh.
Because I am a pile of garbage.
You're a lovely person. You're
Chris Scullion,
Hello,
what Pokemon would you be?
Jinx, because I'm a massive racist.
Holy moly.
And you,
I'm not
And,
actually.
and you
you're
really,
really
really
good in a dress.
Yeah.
Well, what can I
Plus
say?
you look a bit like Nicki Minaj.
Well, I try.
You don't know whether that's a compliment or not, do you?
Style icon.
Oh, I don't know where it's a
Minaj.
compliment. All I know is that I try.
Rob Crossley, what Pokemon would you
I
be?
only know Pikachu, so there's no point.
You would not be. What's that tree Pokemon called?
Tree.
Pseudo-Woodo.
That's the one.
Why?
That is
Why?
you.
Or do I resemble a tree?
You're pretty tall.
I'm bald.
Parts of the tree have no leaves on them, which is fine.
Okay.
Cool.
What would you be?
I'd definitely be the Squirtle with the
The sunglasses on.
sunglasses.
Cool Squirtle.
Yeah,
Deal-
Gangly
deal
the
with-
Squirtle.
Deal with it, Squirtle.
That's my. I've actually, there was a time when I first saw that Gangly the Squirtle episode. I found that picture and like freeze framed it and then drew it onto a paper and stuck that on my door.
Awesome.
It's like this
That
is
is a
Gangly
nerd.
the
So you
Squirtle.
actually lived your bedroom life as a Gangly
the Squirtle, yeah.
Interesting.
Lovely, amazing.
Why the
amazing
Pokemon
character.
questions? What's that about?
I don't know. I just thought I'd mix it up a bit.
Yeah, fair enough. No,
Fun,
I'm down
innit?
with it.
It's trying to establish the mood. You get
The
what I
mood
mean?
being...
Right.
The mood
Fun.
being
And
what
from
is
asking
your
those
Pokemon
questions, what
related.
do you establish the moon to be?
Pokerific.
So
Yeah,
the idea that...
exactly.
Pokerific.
Wait, you're establishing a different mood to usual on
Yeah,
this
that's
podcast,
what
which
I'm
is fun.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, we thought we'd try and have fun.
Yeah, we're trying to have fun in this one.
20
Yeah.
odd episodes.
All right, so let's talk about news. I don't know
Well,
if you-
that is fun.
Yeah.
Carry on.
That's very fun. Yeah. We're gonna be honest. I'm looking at Rob here,
For
but he's
once.
looking away from me.
Well, no,
He's like nothing's happening, right?
There's a few things going on.
All right, fine. What's going on, Rob?
I haven't been on news recently.
Oh, yeah. There we
go.
I don't know. There's loads
There
of
was
things.
there was that
you-
thing earlier on, wasn't there? That
I tell you what.
Oh, yeah,
I'll give you something. The
Oh,
kind of news story that you
Sounds like
really
you've
love.
Prepared for this.
Yep. Mark Zuckerberg.
Love the guy.
Yeah. You know this guy.
Yeah.
Firstly, the Facebook Oculus takeover has been approved by whatever the hell approves it. But Mark Zuckerberg
FTC.
tried PS4 VR ahead of Oculus's purchase,
So
according to a Sony exec. What do you think about
That's a complete
that? Is that
non
it?
story.
Nothing. That's not a story. What?
well, it's person tried thing.
Yeah.
On CVG.
Amazing.
Oh right, it's on CVG.
Is it
Well,
on
it's a
CVG?
very
Yeah.
important story. Well, it
See,
explains.
This leads me into a question. I only said it because it relates into a question.
Oh god.
Someone said, if you could play any game using Oculus
yeah.
Rift
Oh fuck.
or Project Morpheus, what would it be? Me and Chris talked about this briefly.
We can only pick one.
Yeah.
Tetris.
And we came up
That's
with
exactly what it
Tetris.
was.
Yes.
Exactly what it was.
Everyone said
Weird.
Tetris. Where you looking down, you're one of the pieces. You're like
was gonna
one
say,
block
you
on the
just-
front of it.
It'd be
What is this
terrifying.
existential Tetris.
And you hold down and it would be like...
Yeah.
It'd be great.
That's a
Exactly.
great idea.
And then when you change the shape, it just automatically snaps you
And
into
you
a new
vomit
viewpoint. So
immediately.
you're suddenly looking at the side and you're like,
People of
oh
the
my
world,
God.
this
Oh
needs
no!
to
If you
happen.
had like collaborative Tetris where there was a person for each perspective, 4 headsets, and one person had to be on each side of it for no reason at all, but it just made them all throw up.
Almost like a human
Exceptional
centipede, but with Tetris blocks.
The human
Human
tetrapede.
tetrapede.
Yeah.
I like this. What about any other ideas? What game would you like?
I'm really genuinely surprised 3 of us came up with Tetris.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Rob's thinking Football Manager.
Probably Half-Life 2, but I think that's already available.
It is.
on Oculus
What a
Rift.
boring
It is.
choice.
People have.
I'm sorry being so
Well,
traditional.
people have already
Boring
experimented with
choice.
Nintendo stuff, haven't they? People have experimented with Pokemon
Metroid
and
Prime.
yep, and
What?
Mario Kart
Ocarina,
Wii came out
Metroid
very
Prime.
recently. I
and
think.
Mario
So good.
64. Someone did Mario 64, which looks amazing, but he says the controls are a bit pish.
Well, there's that
Um,
weird thing when you're trying to sort of hack into a game to do
Yeah.
it, where it can't deal. I think it was ex-O&M man, now PC Games N man, who Steve Hogarty, who did. I nearly didn't say his name. I just said it was one of them.
Who shall go nameless?
Steve Hogarty did one in Skyrim where it couldn't deal. Essentially, the sun position is always above your head in Skyrim. So if you turned your head with Oculus Rift, all the shadows moved.
Like
So
you
it
were
was
some
like-
divine being.
Yeah, so you were like the chosen one. The Dragonborn had power over the sun's
like that.
position in the sky, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. All right, so that's
So well done, Mark.
How sarcastic was that?
that's
Yeah, great idea. Moving on.
great idea.
Yeah,
Nice
yeah.
segue to
Move
yeah,
on.
great idea.
I
So
thought when you said Zuckerberg, I thought you were going to do the story that he's been added to Madame Tussauds.
I thought you were going to say he's in
What?
Super Meat Boy or
yeah,
something.
know, he's-
why would we even talk about that?
He's been added to Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers. Right? No, he's been added to one of the American Madame Tussauds places apparently.
Oh, there's a Madame Tussauds in America.
Yeah, there's loads.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, there is.
There's one Madame Tussauds, and it's
That's as wrong as you can get. I've been to the one.
I
I've
thought-
been to the one in New York a couple of times.
I went to
So
Berlin.
that is one.
That's
I went to
How many
Berlin
more
and
are
I
there?
saw
At
Berlin
least
Dungeon.
One more.
And I was like, that's not
I'm
right.
not sure that's a.
That's not. Yeah, you can't do that. This is London Dungeon, not Berlin Dungeon.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
There probably
There's
were
one in
dungeons in
there's an
Berlin.
Edinburgh dungeon as well.
Oh, bullshit.
The same. Yeah.
We've thought of that, mate.
It's
No,
the same,
man.
same font and everything. It
It'd
must
be
be the
amazing.
same
It'd
company.
be amazing if it turned out that all across the world, in medieval times, they'd franchise dungeons with the
Yeah.
view to one day monetizing them. If we do enough fucked up stuff here, we'll eventually be
Yeah.
able to make crappy roller coaster.
It's a
rides.
long-term investment, but
Yeah.
hopefully it's
I remember
It'll be
when-
paid off for the
benefits.
Templars or the Rosicrucians or whichever shady societies.
When I went
kicked it
to
all off.
London Dungeons, they took us when we were quite young. And what happened was we went around, and the guide was leading us around and showing us, this is what this was used for. And then he picked up like a scissor which had really weird like circular blades. Like they were
What do you mean
straight.
circular?
They were straight, and then they'd bend out a bit. And then
Oh,
carry
I
on.
Oh, like
remember that.
forceps kind of
And
things.
then yeah, exactly. And then he looked at this group of kids and was like, "These are boys, yeah. We're in year 7 or
worried about
something."
this.
I know
And he
exactly.
looked at us and he goes,
circumcision.
"Do you know what these are for?" And everyone's like, "Nah, not really sure." And then he just slowly moved the scissors to his crotch,
Oh my god.
and then started like awkwardly moving his
Is he now,
gyrating, and you could see the terror in kids' eyes. Like I looked at, and they were like, "Oh my god." They had never considered like someone could chop that off.
And he's now being investigated in Operation U-Tree, I think.
I've heard
isn't
this. Yeah.
he?
I don't think this is untrue or libelous, but I believe famed comedian Matt Berry was sacked from his job from the London Dungeons
heard
for
this
being
too, yeah.
caught having sex dressed as a judge,
Yeah.
which I think is one of the
Right,
best ways.
He
I've
has
ever heard of
has
being
publicly
fired.
admitted this before.
I
so
believe that
that's
is
not
the
that's
case.
not libelous. You're right.
Well, I just
I've
think
heard
that's a
this.
good story.
No, genuinely. it's
Oculus
Okay.
Rift,
It's safe.
a game playing as Matt Berry
Yeah,
dressed
good
as a
times.
judge, boning.
So that was one non-story.
Called Judge Rudy.
There was other stuff though, wasn't
Judgment
there?
Day.
There was,
Prince of Persia. Have you heard about this?
oh yeah, there's a
So this
probably a
is-
Prince of Persia game in development.
Oh, on UbiArt.
yeah, an
That sounds good.
UbiArt, which was
UbiArt.
the engine used to create Rayman, which is very
Yep.
pretty
And
game,
Child of Light.
and
Yeah.
Child of Light, which
And that
is coming out
upcoming World
soon.
War one.
Yeah, I forgot the
Valiant
name of
Hearts.
that. Valiant Hearts, that's the one.
I'm looking forward
So,
to the
yeah.
Scottish spin-off, Prince of Perthshire.
That's
that'd be better.
quite
Yeah.
a good joke.
I'm not sure. My geography is really poor, so I don't know whether that's funny or not.
No, it's pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah?
good.
It's good.
It was a
Acceptable.
pun. I mean, it's
Yep.
up there.
Okay.
Thanks.
It's up there
It's
with
up there
what?
with other
With
puns.
other things Chris
It's
says.
other
Other-
Scot- it's up there with
Scottish
other
puns.
place name puns.
Yeah. Go on, come up with another.
so this.
Well,
this-
what about the religious adventure at Super Mario Galilee?
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Another one, quick.
Nope, that's your lot.
Oh,
That's your lot for
You
now.
just
I'd
got
be
the
really
two.
impressed if you can rattle off 4.
Project
Yeah.
Govan Racing. It's a region in Glasgow. That's one.
One more, come on.
No, that's it.
All
Come
right,
on,
what
one
if-
more fun,
wait,
one more fun.
What if we give you a location, you immediately come up with a pun for it?
Yeah, Portsmouth.
No, because that's too much pressure.
Sucky Hall Street.
Sucker Ball Street.
That's not a game. Fair enough.
That's a well-known nickname for it, though, to be fair. Let's move on. Really quick.
What the fuck was that?
That's a well-known nickname for Sucky Hall Street in Glasgow.
How is that a pun on games?
Well, it doesn't. That's just what I think when I hear Sucky Hall Street. That's instantly what I think.
Famous in your head.
Famous
That's what
is
it is,
famously
right?
known as Sucky Ball Street.
All right, so this Ubisoft
Oculus.
developer tweeted like
Yeah.
a bunch of Prince of Persia pictures and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
said something like the future ? And then everyone was like, yeah, that looks like a teaser, but no one really kind of took it as anything more. And then they pulled the Twitter account, which led a lot of people to speculate that something is on the way.
Yet another perfect PR move.
Excellent.
Let's diffuse this by doing exactly what everyone wants to see. Nice.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to an Ubisoft exec a little while back. I can't remember his name because I'm bad with names, not because he's got a forgettable name. But
And
it
halfway
was
through the conversation, he revealed something and then blew himself up on the spot to undo his mistake.
And I was like, wow, that was a bit drastic. Didn't have to do that. It was at an Ubi Days things where they do digital stuff.
Yeah.
And it was actually where they really revealed that Valiant Hearts game. And I asked him about the future of Prince of Persia, and he said at the time, we're definitely not done with Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
So
It
Well, they wanted to
has
give
been
the-
a while.
They wanted to give the franchise a bit of a rest. The last game apparently was a bit divisive. And
Yeah.
one of my friends really likes it.
last game was actually quite good.
Yeah,
Was that
Which
the
one was-
2008 one?
Yeah,
That's the one everyone goes on about.
Even the one on the based on the movie was half decent.
Was that
Oh,
the
really?
was
Yeah.
was the last one? Because they all kind of merged together for me. Was the last one the kind of cell shaded one where he had
The
the
cell-shaded
woman
one.
helping him out?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Erica.
and the thing
Yeah.
is that one was going to be the reboot. So they did loads of Prince of Persia games on the PS2 and Xbox and GameCube, and it was like this one lineage, and they kind of wanted to reboot it with this whole cell shaded thing, and that didn't do too well.
No, I seem to remember there was a DS one at the same time as well.
Oh,
it was
really?
like
That's not good.
touch screen only.
So they nipped that in the bud, and I guess they're going to reboot it for a third time. I'm not sure if this 2D stuff is true. It might just be purely coincidental.
I mean, the Ubi Art framework engine has it been used on anything but 2D games?
No, I don't know anything about engines, but I know it hasn't been used on
Yeah,
non-2D stuff, and I
yeah.
wonder whether it is
Even possible.
a ball like for them to do so.
Well, I found it really interesting because UbiArt was announced in 2010, and it's been a long time, and it looked like a really interesting technology, but it hasn't really been used on any games apart from Rayman.
Well, it's on
Do they not
two
use
more
it?
this year though.
Yeah, and
Like
don't they
Child
use
of Light
it for
and
like?
Valiant Hearts
Oh,
are both
right.
coming out, so they
Right.
are applying it to other stuff.
That's interesting.
Finally,
And don't they use it for like their non-gaming stuff as well, like their workshop stuff? So like the Assassin's
Maybe.
Creed movie stuff, they use that engine to make a lot of the assets for that.
Really,
Oh,
Well, I
right,
think
yeah.
so. I might be making that up.
that's kind of cool. So, if you're not talking out of your ass,
That's how we that's how we do things at CVG.
That's how we roll.
I might be making that up.
definitive for made-up news.
Whatever.
So on top of that, the other day is something interesting happened on Sony's PlayStation Vita. A bunch of games, PSP games and PS1 games that were previously unplayable suddenly became playable.
What do you mean?
As in, these were like PS1
Well, new
games,
games were released.
and PSP games. So stuff like Resident Evil 2, you couldn't download them or play them on the Vita. And then someone just noticed they were all downloadable and all playable on the Vita.
Shit.
They were like, holy crap, we're just going to do this. So they downloaded a bunch of games and it worked perfectly fine. And Sony didn't announce it or say it's coming or any sort of no sort of official acknowledgement of it. And then this morning it vanished. So they stopped.
They probably would have to do that for legal reasons.
But do you think that's a functionality that's coming in the future then?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, they've
Wait,
they've
so
just
how
put
is
it,
this
they've just put it up early by mistake.
how's
haven't
this
they?
different
Yeah.
to PS1 classics? Is
It's
it just
not
an extended range?
Presumably,
It was
an
an
extension of that.
But it was like a massive range of titles. Like someone accidentally leaned on a switch and hit the everything go button.
I was terrified this morning when you posted up this story and I looked at it and I was halfway through downloading Final Fantasy 9 on my Vita.
Right.
So I was just like, "What? No, it's gonna stop! I'm gonna be able to get to the bit where Vivi finds out the big reveal and then nothing
That's
else.
it. It's
will
not going to
after
work.
that. Be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that they kind of introduce
They-
that quickly.
I mean, I would bet a lot of money on the fact that they will. It's coming out on Vita.
Well, I mentioned this last week, and I'm mentioning it again this week, and I'm going to keep mentioning it. The exciting news, anyways, that Silent Hill Shattered Memories is coming back. I'm going to keep saying it until everyone
You
owns
really
it.
do love that game.
I
don't you?
adore that
Is
game.
it? What's it coming out on?
It's coming out
Vita.
on Vita, but it's the PSP version
So it's
getting a
not-
re-release. It's not an
It's
HD.
not going to do the cool phone stuff.
It's not,
No.
but at the
What's
same
the
time, it'll do though.
Well, that's
it'll-
good.
no,
That's what you
the
want.
thing
It's
is,
beyond
such a-
that gimmicky thing, even though it's kind of a good gimmick. It still functions as a really good survival
Yeah,
horror
yeah.
game, or
Yeah.
just like a horror game. So if you haven't played it, ideally you want to play it on the Wii. That's the best
Yeah.
place
That's
to
the thing.
play it.
If they really wanted to live up to the legacy of Silent Hill Shattered Memories, they'd release it on a console on which it was going to sell
Joe,
sweet
Yeah.
fuck all.
I'd
no
love,
one
I'd love to
cares.
see.
Yeah.
The HD remake on Wii U.
I'd love to see an HD remake on either Wii U or even PS4 because it's got the speaker and the controller.
Oh, yeah, that's a
as
good
well.
point,
That would be
actually.
amazing.
And you plug headphones in, and it'll scare
And it's
you.
actually a speaker that works. Like it's
Yeah.
a good speaker.
Yeah, it's a good
so it'd be
speaker.
nice. It'd be nice to hear.
So yeah,
the voice.
everyone buy Shattered Memories on the PSP version when it comes out because maybe it'll encourage Konami to pull the finger out and give it a proper
Spam your
HD.
local Konami representative with
Yep.
requests for a PS4.
Your local
version.
Konami MP.
Yeah,
I was going to say
cool,
there's one in
s-
every village.
Call Steve Merritt on 0207.
Yeah.
What's his
Holy
number?
shit!
No, better
I
not.
thought you
Yeah.
might know that off by heart. But yeah, that's pretty much it for news.
Is that honestly it?
That is pretty much it.
Wow.
Not a lot
What the hell
is
are we
happening.
gonna
What about
do
the?
with
Can we
ourselves?
talk about the
It's
Call
quiet.
of Duty one, or is that dodgy?
What's the Call of Duty one?
No,
Oh,
just
they
that
showed a
picture.
picture of a face.
No, the one
No,
from
no,
today.
The kid earlier today. He,
Oh yeah,
Ah,
that kid.
mental
So
kid.
Chris, you wrote this story, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
Basically, some kid was playing Call of Duty with another kid, and we're not sure which
Kids
format
these
it
days.
is, but I'm guessing it might actually be the PC version because after he got pissed off with said kid beating him, he then found out what his IP address was, which is making me think it was the PC version. Found out where he lived, phoned the guy's local police station, said, "I'm this guy. I've just killed my mum and my brother." And I'm going to kill more people. And the police said shit and got the SWAT team round.
That was actual. Yeah, they looked
shit.
around and
They've
they
got-
looked at each other and went, "Ooh."
They've got an actual recording of the police going shit, and then so they sent a SWAT team round to this guy's house with like 60 guys with guns drawn, and he was still sitting in his room with his headphones on playing Call of Duty and not realizing that there was shit was going down in all directions outside his house.
They
So,
had
yeah.
60 SWAT agents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Probably
they were
all
armed
had-
as well, like so they
Yeah.
could have like
taking his face off.
killed. Yeah.
They'd
Yeah.
probably well experienced like prestige level 3.
I was going to say he was prestiging during the sieging.
Boom.
Excellent, like a
Nice.
new challenger approaches.
I'm not sure that counts as a pun, but it's certainly a good strap for that story. So
It's a good challenge.
That's
I
a
want
good
to
challenge.
congratulate everyone involved in that story. Firstly, the guy who won the game of Call of Duty.
For being good at Call of
Clearly
Duty.
a good game.
Yeah.
Secondly, the police scrambling 60 SWAT agents. That's
Yeah.
pretty intense.
Yep.
And thirdly, that's a good prank. Like, you don't want to condone it too much.
That
But
is,
that's
yeah.
a real, like, that's
I
We
rage.
categorically do condone it.
I
By the
think-
way.
Yeah.
There's-
Just to be clear, that's proper balls.
That's that's rage.
Don't do that.
That's rage pulled out to its like most sadistic conclusion. It's
Yeah.
great. Like he didn't just throw something. He
Yeah.
went, "I'm going to engineer."
He went to the
That's,
extra. Went the
that's the
extra
thing.
mile.
That's the thing. I never, believe it or not, I'm not really an angry gamer as such. So I've never once thrown a controller in all my life or anything like that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how someone could get to the point where they're so angry that they say, "I'm so angry that this guy beat me. I'm going to literally."
Yeah.
I'd create a risk where he might get shot. Like, I'm
Yeah.
literally going to send 60 policemen round, guns drawn, to his house.
Yeah.
But also,
In
it would take a while to do it. So I'm going to find out his IP address,
Yeah.
cross-examine that with a phone book,
Yeah.
find out his fucking number, find out his address,
Yeah.
and
So-
then phone the police.
And then, so,
Engineer a story.
constantly livid.
Yeah,
At no
yeah,
point
that's
did he
what
calm
happened.
down and go,
Either he-
actually, wait
I
a
like
minute,
the
wait a
idea
minute.
he was
This is
on
a
the
bit.
phone to the police, like screaming.
yeah. yeah.
In the background, the police are listening close and they're kind of
like-
yeah, your UAV is online.
Yeah. Then
What?
the-
You've
then-
got UAV?
Then the chief goes,
That's why they scrambled 70
Yeah.
or 60 cops, because at some point they heard nuclear tactical nuke online and they were like, "Ah!"
and then the chief goes, shit. And then they all come. So, yeah.
Went down. Excellent. Yeah, so that was a fun
Tamoor,
story.
I've just been checking out CVG on the mobile site, and there seems to be quite a
Oh, how does it look on the
the
mobile
Oh,
response-
site,
it's
Rob?
absolutely gorgeous.
The
What you-
response-
Is that in your
design.
responsive
the
design?
responsive design is fantastic.
Go on then, give us some news.
Okay, if I could just go through all the headlines, if you could just give us, I don't know, 1 or 2 word responses. State of Decay PC patch released.
Let's do it like news at 10.
Okay. Oh, I'm not sure. Killzone Shadowfall update released.
Bong.
Platform locked Ground Zero's content going multi-platform for free.
Bong.
New Evolve gameplay video released.
Bong.
XCOM Enemy Unknown released on Android.
Bong.
3 hours Watch Dogs multiplayer and insane side missions.
Bong. Wait a minute. At the risk of questioning our own
Let's not question our own.
what's insane about these side missions?
Well,
Do they start in an asylum?
There's a bit where you
You
get inside a
control a-
spider tank.
yeah, you control a
kind
spider
of-
tank.
It's basically
really
this
insane.
basically like the equivalent of Rockstar for GTA 5's weed missions.
Is that insane
It's
though,
not-
or is
it's
that
not
is that
insane.
logical?
Insane as if Aiden Pierce like drops trowel and like smears
Look,
shit.
if
over
you
the walls of Chicago. like
That's true.
That would be a
that's,
great
that's
mechanic.
actually pretty technically advanced. I would
Yeah.
say that
Yeah.
that takes quite a brain.
You'd need like I don't know if Ubisoft have like shit smear technology in their
particle
engines.
effects.
Yeah.
would go out.
Ubifarts.
Yeah, Ubisoft's engine.
UB5.
Oh, God.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
a step up from
I don't think-
particle effects, which is what I was going for. But
Yeah, and Bullsuck Street or something similar.
Particle effect. So you read the last kind of days headlines there. I think
Yeah.
we can all agree
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
and
much is going on.
there
That
is
that
much going
preview
on.
though, the Watch Dogs ones is pretty good.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
Yeah.
Joe, you wouldn't read a preview if it said like average side missions.
just go 3 hours of Watch Dogs and Spider Tank. That's all I need because I
That's
don't
true.
even know what a
Mm.
Spider
That's true.
Tank is.
I don't need
can
their I don't need
guess.
their sanity questioned in order to be swayed.
All right, that's news done.
Oh, well, actually, last week...
This guy is always undermining me.
Sorry. I know, I'm just looking through the... Well, I mean, Sony sold a lot of consoles.
All right.
PS4 system sales surpassed 7 million.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's that.
Thanks for that
Good.
interruption there, Rob.
I'm glad I did.
You reviewed Hearthstone for us.
I did, yeah.
Hearthstone's kind of like a
Yeah.
regular topic on
I'm
our
out.
podcast, isn't it?
Good drop the
man.
mic. I'm out. I couldn't give half a shite about Hearthstone. Enjoy.
Why?
Oh, just go for it. Go for
In
it.
fairness, I've given up on it quite a lot since my brother's become in some ridiculously high percentile of players now, and it makes me
Oh, really?
sad.
Does he have a
on
job
daily
or
basis.
like at uni or college?
No,
or
no, no,
something?
no.
Is
He's
that-
totally unemployed.
Okay. No, that's
He says laughing.
that's not judgment.
I like your phrase totally unemployed. It's not like unemployed, it's like, no, this guy is fucking off
No,
work.
he's screwed.
100%
No, it's fine,
unemployed.
it's fine.
Oh.
Sorry, Will.
I'm a bit nervous now.
That's
all right.
I'm
Shout
not
out
judging. It's
to,
just,
Will.
it's just
Shout out
because
to Will
usually
Scrabbles
the games
in his
that
bedroom.
I was best at. Usually, I played when I was also unemployed. So
But no,
Yeah.
my brother's always. This is a complete sidestep. Do any of you know? Well, maybe you are these people, but people who devote themselves entirely to a game until they are amongst the best in the world.
yeah.
Like my brother played Socom 2 on the PlayStation 2 to a level at which he was number 2 in the world. And you just
Wow.
go like he really gave a shit about that.
I like
can't
that he
do that.
picks these niche games though.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
Hearthstone's an exception, but SOCOM too.
yeah, Socom 2
Yeah, it was
wasn't
like-
a
You
huge
had to
deal.
have like an internet adapter for the PS2,
Yes, we
which
did.
barely functioned. So you
was
had to
pretty
sit
intense
through
times.
shitty lag. As
I'm
well.
in the Guinness Book of Gaming Records.
Oh,
for
you
one of my
are, aren't
scores,
you?
Yeah, for
I think
Tetris
I
and
am
the
as
Game Boy.
well.
What do you mean?
I'm ranked, I think it's 7th in the world at Tetris and the Game Boy.
Shit.
Just
I think
it's
behind,
pretty good.
just behind Steve Wozniak. Genuinely,
Is this all true?
it's 100% true.
None of this is
it would be the
No, no.
shittest joke ever.
Yeah,
if
it
it was
would,
a joke.
yeah.
It's like 7th in Tetris.
Lol, JK. 7.
yeah.
I'm in
Because
there.
that's
You
the
got
thing.
porn.
That's the lie you would make. I'm gonna make a lie here, but it has to be kind of believable. It can't be true.
Yeah.
I'm 7th in the
Pick
world.
a random
Something.
person. Steve Wozniak. There we go.
Yeah.
He's fucking
No,
random.
Steve Wozniak is actually amazing at Tetris. That's the thing.
Do you know
Yeah.
He
he's
carries around like 4 Game Boys.
Do you know he used to
I thought it
on a
was
monthly
just that.
basis he used to submit. He used to let's skip.
Sorry. I think he's fine.
On a monthly
He's fine.
basis, Steve Wozniak would send high scores to Nintendo Power when he was young with his Tetris high scores, and it got to the point they says to him, "We don't want any more high scores." So he then started sending in high scores with like fake names, like his name backwards and everything, like Evest and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
And just so he could keep his high scores. And
His name
Nintendo Power.
backwards is pretty good, actually. Kane Zhao.
Well,
That's a good name.
That's a good name.
Mine is Roomat.
Rumat.
Mine is
pretty shit.
Is it surname backwards? Yes.
No, it's
All-
I did first name.
All the way backwards, I'm Sleberk's Snallyrav
Mine's
Pisodge.
mine's Roomat Nesu.
Right.
That sounds kind of like
try to
a,
figure out your middle name based on
It's
that.
Valerians.
That's amazing.
Valerians.
Your middle name is Valerian.
Yeah.
That's like a massive.
That's a Game of Thrones thing, isn't it? Valerian
That's-
Steel.
If we count the basically feudal society of modern Latvia as a Game of Thrones reference, then perhaps.
Well,
I like that you're from Latvia because it's almost like
Not
Latveria,
Not from.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I'm basically Doctor Doom.
which means you're a Doctor Doom descendant.
Yeah,
I love to imagine like your dad's just at home wearing a giant mask, sitting on a throne
Yeah.
as a
with Doom bots around him,
As a man
making
who-
him tea.
as a man who grew up Catholic. I also have a confirmation name, which is Olaf. So I'm
Olaf?
tested
Nice, he
by,
means
it's-
by the
So
Catholic
your
Church.
full,
I am
can you
Joseph,
say your full name with
Joseph
all those?
Valerian's Olaf Screbbles.
see, my confirmation
is
name's
pretty good.
my
It's
confirmation
pretty
name's
good, yeah.
John. I kind of
why
regret
wouldn't
that now.
Yeah, exactly. I chose. This is legit true. I chose the best name I thought I could use to make the bishop laugh during the confirmation ceremony,
Do you know-
and it worked.
This
So-
this shows you how petty the confirmation name process is, right? My uncle had died at the time, right, and his name was John. So when they said you need to pick a confirmation name, I said John, and they said why? I said because it was my uncle's name, and he just died. And they said no, it can't be for that reason. It has to be named after a
What?
saint. And I
Yeah.
said John the Baptist, and he went fine. And that was it.
I see,
That's why I'm Christopher Thomas,
a
John
douchebag.
Scullion.
when I justified it, I was like, he was a king of Norway, so winner. See you later.
Do you have a middle name?
I do. Yeah.
What is it?
Floyd.
I knew
Oh.
that. I knew that.
Is
I
that
just
is that
wanted you
because
to
your dad liked boxing?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
originally my first name was going to be Floyd. I was going
As
to
in
be
Mayweather.
no Floyd Patterson.
say. No, it was originally Tyson. Rob Tyson
I
Crossley.
wish, yeah. But at the last minute, my mum went, "Call him Rob. Call him. Don't call him Floyd."
Imagine Cassius Crossley.
Oh
That
man.
would have been-
That.
that would have been a move.
Crossley would be incredible.
But then
would
you'd have
love
to
to
change
do-
it to Muhammad Crossley after
yeah.
refusing.
Which
to
would be
fight
really
in the war.
confusing for most
After
people.
refusing to fight in Vietnam, you
Right,
need to
okay.
change your name.
What is
Yeah.
your name? I'm Rob Muhammad Crossley. Oh, that's awkward.
Do you have a middle name, Thomas?
No, I don't. That was just straight up.
If you could have a middle name, what would it?
Uh,
What would you choose?
John.
I'd pick
John.
something.
It would be something
John-
comic book.
No, it would be something like it would be a Japanese name just to make it as awkward and confusing as possible.
Why would you choose a Japanese
I don't know
name?
because
So
Japanese
it
names
wouldn't
are
be
cool.
Saddam because that's predictable.
No, so I had to have that removed off my.
After the fourth stop
Yeah.
at US
Yeah, it was-
Customs.
Yeah, it was like originally it was Saddam, but then this guy, I don't know if you've heard of him. He was in the Middle East.
You got
Try
hung or
fucking
something?
it
It's
up
weird.
for
Oh,
me.
Bin
Well,
Laden.
I tell you what. I
Oh,
tell you what.
yeah.
Then you missed an opportunity here because why didn't you get a middle name that makes you sound a bit nicer?
Whoa!
No. Tamoor is a
Jesus.
lovely, lovely man. No.
You say-
No, I'm
Here we go.
talking
Here we
about
go.
look,
Here we go.
countering terrorists.
Quick lesson in how to avoid sounding like a racist. That's what you say is nicer to, racist authority figures.
Yes,
as
yes.
opposed
What
to
is the
That's
what is
what-
the
yes.
most like what name would that be? Would it be like Tamoor, George
Norman.
W, Herbert Bush,
Cream
Norman,
puff.
cream puff.
Cream Puff?
Yeah. Or I don't know.
That'll get me beaten up. Both by my own people and the other side. They'll be like, "Who are you calling Cream Puff?"
Cream puff.
I like how you say my own people.
Yeah. So Hearthstone,
Yeah.
you reviewed it and gave it a 9.0. Tell us about it.
I think if you're listening to
Cream
this
puff.
and you have and you have an iPad or a PC, you should definitely play it. It's like one of the most amazing games I've played in a long time.
Can you confirm that you played more than 10 minutes of it?
Yes. I actually I spent
15.
I spent about over 50 hours on it, and I think in terms of money, I think I spent around £100 on it.
And that's a free
What?
game.
It's a free
You
game.
paid £100 for a free game.
What are
That's
you
how
playing
much
at?
you get.
Why?
I just got.
Is this because it's genuinely good or because you're a sucker?
It's. I just was sucked into it. There's like different things you can do on it. There's different packs you can unlock, and
I think I've played about 20 hours and not spent a penny and still
Yeah.
feel totally
Should go to the toilet then.
happy with it. So I think basically Rob has is paying for a game that deserves it.
You know,
in his mind.
in free to play
Adult
terms.
mind. It's not a game. The point to make is that Hearthstone is not a game that leverages payment as a way to push on. You can do very well playing freely.
In free to play, you're called a whale, right?
Yeah,
You
that's
are
right. Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, I think like the first, like you, the first 20 hours, I didn't pay a single thing, and I didn't feel the need to. But then I got really, really competitive, and
It was like 20 hours, and then 1 second later, it's like, I'm going to destroy everyone.
so there's like different packs you can buy, and one of them is 35 quid, and it is a ton of cards, but it's still not quite enough. And I think I bought 2 of those. Which is about
2 of them?
Yeah.
Did you buy them straight away, 2? You went for 2?
Yeah. I had a bit.
That's when you know it's a bit.
I had a bit of
Yeah,
disposable
that's
income.
fair.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mistake.
Because usually the normal person will be like, I'll buy one of these packs, see what's in there.
Yeah.
And then you're like, that was kind of worth it, I guess.
Yeah.
You were just like, I'm having 2 of these.
Yeah.
To me,
exactly.
once you start paying £100 for digital cards, you should be playing Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, you should.
That's basically
That is
what I
a
think.
lot of Magic the Gathering cards.
Well, it's quite amazing because
At
that
least the
many.
starter deck, like a big starter deck.
You can get like a box of cards you got boxer boost packs for about £100, but it's
wow.
because Magic's like, and that is a better game.
Yeah.
That has to be pointed
Wow.
out. Magic is a better game than Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hearthstone is just a more accommodating game. It's actually a really nice intro to Magic the Gathering. I think.
Yeah, that's
A lot
what I
of
think.
it is-
That is what I said to you on Twitter. That is the next stage of progression for someone that likes CCG games.
I just
someone
can't.
who's
I
ill.
just can't get into the genre at all. I once
Do you play
learned-
Football Manager?
Yeah, but it's different.
No,
It's,
no,
it's
it is,
exactly
it is.
like Football Manager.
It's not. It's different.
No.
Come on.
No,
That's
you're-
not
you're-
insane.
Come on, though.
You're managing a
different in
team
that,
of orcs.
It's different in that Hearthstone's not shit and boring. So
Let's say that's good.
What?
What?
All right,
Seriously,
cream
man.
puff. Jesus.
this is going to become my nickname, isn't it?
I just
Changing my gamer
can't.
tag when I get home.
I just can't get in it at all. I tried to get into the Pokemon one.
Well, I mean,
which
to
know
be
is
honest,
quite daft, but
to clarify, I've played 2 Blizzard games in my life: Hearthstone
yeah.
and Rock and Roll Racing. I didn't
So
do
that was a
any of
good
that.
game. That was a good game.
I think they did a couple of things in between those 2 games.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like World of Wizards or something like
Yeah,
that.
some sort of online
Yeah.
game.
And
Rock
some,
and Roll
like,
Racing had
Diabolical or something like that.
Diabolical.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll
something like
Racing had the Vikings from Lost Vikings in it as
Yeah.
unlockable characters.
Did it really?
Yeah.
I think
Oh.
it went Rock and Roll Racing, and then Warcraft 2, and then Hearthstone. That's what they've done,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's
I
absolutely
think
right.
that's it.
Yeah, somewhere along there, Dota happened, and
But Chris, when I tell my friends that I'm addicted to Hearthstone, they can't believe it because there's no one that hates orcs and all that bullshit more than I do.
I know,
And
but
it is fucking amazing.
So
I
is it
just-
card games you have a problem with?
yeah, it's card games in general. I just can't get into.
Do you not like poker,
Is it-
blackjack?
No.
So
Oh.
the thing about that I
just
enjoy
a
about
card
I think
race.
it's the random element. I
So
don't.
you just
I
don't like randomosity.
it's not
No,
random
yeah,
though because
I
you
don't
pick your
like-
squad.
Well, not necessarily.
No,
I
yeah,
think, like,
but the cards you're
getting
getting
the cards are random.
are random. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's the
No,
at,
no,
at least
you-
at least Football Manager. You know what your team is, and you know you
I'm gonna
think
buy me a
you think
Mario.
No,
I
no.
need a better right wing. I'll go and
You
get. I
create-
know who I want.
Can
you
you-
create your pack of 30? So you custom build your pack of 30.
Yeah, but how do you get?
Not
those
if you're
cards?
a cool bro who only plays
Sorry.
arena.
How
like
do you
me.
get those cards?
He's what
though?
You
he's
select them.
Yeah, but how do you select them? How do they end
what
up
he's
in
saying
your
is, can he target
possession?
a single card that
Sorry?
he wants and
If
acquire
you
it?
say
Oh, right,
oh,
yeah.
I'm strong,
Yeah, yeah,
bear in mind I
exactly,
know
yeah.
nothing about
Okay,
it. If you're
but
saying I'm
it-
strong
yeah.
in this particular area, I know exactly the card
So
I
if-
want.
yeah.
That is going
You can craft cards out of magic dust.
Can you
Yeah.
train?
Yeah,
the way
right,
he
right.
said that
Which
sounded
is- fair
quite
enough.
out of
Sounds
magic
ridiculous.
dust.
That
Sounds
sounds totally fine,
But that is how it works. So you can either buy or you can disenchant cards you've got randomly, and then put the dust that is created as a result into crafting the cards
a
you want.
specific card.
Yeah, a specific single card, and you know every single card that is available to you at all times from the beginning of the game.
Can you like decide I need this card and then find someone who has that card and trade with them?
No, there's no
No.
trading element. Which
There's no trading.
Fuck that.
Well, I think that's to avoid sort of in-game auction type stuff because I think
yeah.
they had enough trouble with that.
So the
last time
Football
they tried it.
Manager equivalent is if I want.
I didn't
I'm
compare
trying
it
to think about
Football
football.
Manager.
If you want Mario Balotelli-
if I want Messi to play for Celtic,
You need
I need
magic
to take
dust.
I need to take the
What-
Celtic under 21 squad, crush them all down
Yeah.
into
Take-
blood and guts,
Yeah.
and then sculpt Messi out.
Every-
and then job done.
Every Celtic player I
Job's
could just
done.
think of has
Excellent work.
Perfect timing.
Every Celtic player I just thought of has since left the club, so I can't do it.
No.
But to say it was a couple of years ago, you would have taken Wanyama
Yeah.
and Hooper,
Yeah.
because those both played for you.
And those would
I
have
know
both
some
made
football.
Messi's middle
you would
left
have
toe.
burnt them
Yeah.
into a sort of
Paste.
fine powder, and then sculpted them into a small effigy, and
Of
then
Messi.
Messi would have come out.
Amazing.
That's how it works.
But Chris,
I wanna play that
when you
Football
play
Manager.
Football Manager,
I'd be
you
well.
play
Yes.
as Celtic, probably,
Yes.
right? So the analogy is that with Celtic, you probably have a squad of 40 people or something.
Yeah.
And okay, during a game, you have 11 people to choose from, and you have 7 people in reserve.
Yeah.
But you are looking after your entire squad, aren't you?
Yes.
Hearthstone is about looking after your entire squad, making sure your entire squad of 30 cards is
not buying it.
is perfectly balanced and perfect for when you're competing.
But here's the difference, right? If I'm presumably
The
when
difference
you
is
presumably
one's a collectible card game and the other one's a simulation of football.
presumably when you're about to
These
presumably
tortured analogies, I don't think help. Because
Presumably
the
when you're
essence of
about to
playing the game
battle
are quite-
no,
someone-
the essence is the same.
presumably the whole point of this game is battling. Yeah.
Yes.
So presumably when you battle someone, you don't know what's in their deck until you come up against them. Is that right?
You know about half of what's in their deck.
Right.
What-
So if I'm playing Football Manager as Celtic, I know I've got Hearts next. I know Hearts' strengths and weaknesses, so I can prepare my team perfectly
Yes,
in order
yes.
to combat
Yes,
that. Whereas if I don't know, if all of a sudden Hearts say, "Oh yeah, would you know something? We've got fucking
+5 mage.
Yeah, we actually happen to have an amazing. I can't think of a good footballer. My mind's gone totally blank.
Well, you are a Celtic fan.
Oh! Still thinking. I'm saying for ages.
All right, listen. There's a bit of a clash here because you say it is like Football Manager. The essence of it is like
Yeah,
Football Manager,
yeah.
which is what your review is kind of built on. You start off with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You say it isn't.
No.
Fight.
Okay.
But I think the problem
This
we're
is like
get-
the
problem we're
internet,
getting
isn't
into here is that we are not actually talking about Hearthstone anymore.
Okay.
The point is Hearthstone is an
Yeah, we're talking
incredibly
about trading card
accomplished-
games in
I
general.
think I would also like to clarify that what the review we did said was that the main thing that was so similar to Football Manager, and the reason why I made that comparison, is the best thing about Football Manager is whilst playing your team, you're constantly assessing your team. You're doing two things at once. You're trying your best with what you've got, and you're also constantly assessing what you've got. And it's exactly the same thing on Hearthstone. You're playing your very best squad, and at the same time, you're assessing your squad. And that continual learning process.
But isn't that the same as say Pokemon?
Yes.
So what I would say,
Yeah.
have you played to this extent a collectible card game before?
No, this is the first
So
one
this is
I've
what
played.
right. Barring any of the Football Manager stuff, I think what we've established is that Hearthstone is a really good introduction to collectible card games
Yes.
for gamers who may not have ever experienced that kind
Oh,
of
yeah,
game before.
definitely.
It's a really easy, low-cost access point for everyone to get into this kind of thing, and then they can go and play better games. So there we go.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
kinda what it comes down to.
I'm well up for playing like these other games.
These other games.
that you speak of.
Magic
So,
the Gathering's a good one. Netrunner's a good one. Buy those,
What
everyone.
about Pokemon?
Triple
No.
Triad.
No.
Pokemon's not good. And Triple Triad. Everyone should play Triple Triad.
Is that Final Fantasy
Yeah,
VIII?
that's fine.
We've
That's
talked
a
about
mini
this
game.
before.
But
See, I
yeah.
hated that. That's I absolutely love Final Fantasy VIII. It's my favourite Final Fantasy, but I hate that card game. But
Purely because it's the moment that
Oh, random chance! you
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
pricks.
How foolish of me to not want to be in control of the games. I
Do you
play.
like roguelikes?
Do I like what?
Roguelikes.
roguelikes.
Kind of.
Do you like Mario Party?
If you just don't like random
But
Random
stuff,
element,
that's-
right?
yeah, that's fine.
I'd like it to an extent. No,
Have you ever rolled a dice?
Yeah.
Fuck this dice.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Fucking
that
roll the
wasn't
dice
a
when I
roll, that
moved
was
to
me
London.
throwing it.
No,
I hate this guy.
He throws it so far that you just can't see the outcome. It's just like over into the horizon. No,
Pick a card. No, fuck you, mate.
Yeah.
You pick a
You pick
fucking
a card.
card.
I'll
Alright,
pick
so-
a card, but I'll tell you what card I'm picking. I'm picking the 3 of clubs
So
as your card.
back on Football Manager.
Yeah.
Football Manager.
That game
Hearthstone.
sucks, but you've been playing a different kind of Football Manager.
Oh, I have,
Oh, I
yes.
see what you did there.
And it's, well, I mean, if you think Football Manager sucks,
Right.
then wait till you hear about Nintendo Pocket Football Club.
Why?
I really like Football Manager, so I think Nintendo Pocket Football Club is average, which is fine.
Okay.
It's a really cute setup. So it's essentially Nintendo turning their hand to a very stripped back take on football management, and it draws on some really nice sort of touchstones. So you get what amounts to a sensible soccer art style. Chunky little sprites, big heads, very cute animations. They kind of toddle about and beat their fists on the floor when they're angry. And, there's lots of nice little things about it. And it draws excellently on early Pro Evo Master League. So, did any of you get into... I'm assuming you didn't.
Of course, I love Pro Evo.
You love Pro Evo? Fox Engine, yeah?
Yeah.
You just like to pretend to your
Everyone looks like a snake.
Solid Snake in it, yeah. So basically what it draws on is this idea that you start with a team of people who are just names. You don't know who they are. They're not real people. There's no licenses or anything. Floyd's not in it. Cream Puff is in it. And so essentially you start with these guys and they've all got very basic stats in 7 areas, so jumping, shooting, that kind of thing. But what it does really well is makes those little people into players you care about. Right. Because you very rarely have enough money to buy a whole new team. You can rename them, but I prefer not to. I like the idea that I'm getting to know these sort of anonymous no-hopers and bringing them all the way through the leagues to the top of the best one. And, but yeah, it does this really good job of creating personalities for all this stuff, and it's got a really nice, it's sort of strange training aspect where you collect cards during games.
Oh, Chris is out.
That's why I don't like it.
Is that actually
I've been playing it as well, yeah. It's the cards.
You collect cards during games, and then you can spend them to increase training in the areas they help. So they range from things like slide tackling to karaoke, which is really nice. And then you can combine up to 3, which can turn into combos. There's like 150 combos. So it's got this strange collection aspect. If any of you have played Little Inferno, played on a very similar thing, it's just finding completely disparate things that could have a connection and then seeing if they turn into something. So you get things like sliding and visualizing becomes intercepting, or you get weird stuff like running, sprinting, and aerobics makes wild man training. I don't know what that is, but so it's got all this really good stuff, and then it completely ruins it with the match engine, which is you have to watch every single match. Friendlies, league matches, cup matches, everything in full with no ability to speed up the game, and each match takes about 10 minutes to play out.
Oh my God. People don't even do that on Football Manager.
No, exactly.
I mean, no one does it on Football Manager.
No one does that.
It's also the fact you can do nothing once it starts as well.
There's almost no control over those games.
Oh my God, that is terrible.
You've got very little. You can make 3 substitutions, and you can only change tactics during those substitutions. Edge's review put it very well, which is essentially the idea is you're giving messages to the people to bring onto the pitch, which makes sense as long as you don't believe in being able to shout through the air at people. Like, if you're presumably on the side of the pitch, the idea that none of them can hear you is completely insane. So it's got this really unsatisfying match engine where you just have to spend such huge amounts of time watching nothing, and the sprite work, whilst very nice, is quite limited in animation, so there's not that much going on. And it just turns into this strange thing where you'll have a couple of minutes of quite a lot of fun and interesting little bits and personality, and then big stretches of just nothing.
It sounds like a bad idea to begin with, that match engine, because I don't think we could even come up with ways of making that fun, just watching a virtual football match being played out. I don't think we could even think of ways of making that interesting.
The most fun I've had with this game so far is I went for a walk with my dog, and I turned on matches, put the 3DS in my pocket, walked for a bit, took it out and went, I'm 1-0 up, and then made substitutions and carried on walking. And I had a great time because I was doing other stuff. Like, It's like an app. It's weird. It's almost got this sort of strange free-to-play vibe, even though it costs £10. You've got this... You just have to put it aside for a while. And it just
seems
like...
Tiny Tower?
It's the same feeling.
Tiny Tower's a great game.
Tiny Tower's
a
cool game with all the same personality stuff, apart from its sort of egregious microtransaction stuff.
Yeah, until Tiny Tower Star Wars totally fucked it.
Yes.
I wanted to hate Tiny Tower Star Wars.
I did.
And I did hate it when I played it, but then I did play it for 10 hours in the end. And
Man, these free-to-play games just get him, don't they?
What's going on? Saga! I thought it was interesting you say that people that you can't make watching a football game.
A virtual one.
Interesting, but
don't people just watch little dots?
Football Manager does it, though. I mean, to be fair, I think what makes it...
You watch highlights.
Yeah, I think it does highlights, but there are a couple of people... one of my flatmates at uni, actually I've lived with 4 guys at uni, and 2 of them are properly obsessed with Football Manager, to the point that my entire last 2 years of uni were spent watching films in my room, while in other rooms every now and then you'd hear, yeah! Yeah! This is like totally, one of them, my flatmate Dave, was like proper like football nerd, and it got to the point where he would watch full 90-minute matches.
My God.
Football Manager. And this is back when it was just dots and that it wasn't like the proper. And we said to him, why do you do this, Dave? Why do you sit and watch full matches? And he just sat back smugly and said, sometimes I just like to watch my back four knocking it around.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Oh my
That's
God.
like actual Stockholm syndrome. That's
like
having nothing else and just becoming it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, not everyone has that connection, but like you say, it's the fact that you can just do the highlights. So you know every
and
element.
those highlights can be played out at
Have you ever watched
incredibly high speed.
Yeah.
Joe, have you ever watched a full match in Football Manager?
No.
Has
No,
it?
I never
Oh,
would.
oh, right.
I never would.
So
I got to a Champions League final, and I felt like I had to.
Seriously?
It's
Yeah, because
odd.
I have a no reset rule.
Yeah, but that's fine. But for 90 minutes,
Well, I had to be very careful
Oh
because
my
I wanted to win it so much.
It's odd. It's odd how
too much.
Just one game, and it's
That's
the final.
still too much.
It's-
I would only do it in
that's-
Champions League final and World Cup final.
It's odd how detailed it is though, to the point where it keeps in the details that it doesn't need to keep in. Like
Yeah,
if
it's
a ball goes
interesting,
out for a corner, it doesn't just appear at the corner flag. The player's got to go and get
Oh,
the
yeah,
ball
yeah,
and
like-
bring it
Yeah.
all the way back. And
Yeah.
you're like, right.
I'm not
okay,
saying
we
it's
get the
not
point.
really impressive. I'm just saying it's.
But I don't think that's necessarily impressive. I think
Oh, fair
I think that's detail for the sake of detail. It's like, yeah, come on, we get the
So
well,
this-
it's a simulation.
So this
Yeah.
football game is best played just by kind of dipping in and out.
Yeah, and the thing is, I stopped playing it after I reviewed it because I had it quite early, and then a few of my friends have started playing it, and just hearing them talk about it has made me want to play it. And I kind of get it. There's something about playing with other people and knowing you can poach from their squads if you're online and stuff. There's some quite nice stuff there, but it's just those waits. It's just having to sit there and go, I have to wait 10 minutes to just do anything else.
A lot of that same thing is what put me off Animal Crossing, and it's the kind of thing I'm worried about with Tomodachi Life, which you've also been playing quite a lot of.
Yeah,
right?
Tomodachi Life is a more immediate thing, though. Tomodachi Life gives you most
Does it
stuff
have-
within the first day.
See, the problem that I have with those games is longevity. I get bored after a little while. How long have you been playing that, and how has it been
I've
over?
played that. I don't want to run the risk of getting into reviewy territory,
Okay,
but
yeah.
I've played it for couple of weeks? When did we get those games?
Yeah,
A couple of weeks. And yeah, it gives you a lot, and there is stuff in there. I don't know how much more I'm allowed to say,
Come on.
really.
Yeah.
But Animal Crossing,
Come on,
Animal
Luke.
Crossing is an interesting one because I think Animal Crossing, the new one, and you can go back and read my review about this, where essentially I said,
Why do you do different voices?
because when I'm saying
'Cause it's
something
more interesting.
wanky and games journalisty, I have to pretend not to be myself, otherwise I'd kill myself.
Wow, that was a great
Yeah, I know
one.
how that feels. I know
yeah,
how that feels.
but
I
the-
understand
but
that. I
if
do
you-
that during sex.
I say, well, yeah.
Oh damn!
It feels like
Edit
the
that out.
difference between Animal Crossing
No.
on the Wii and Animal Crossing on 3DS is they have seen the rise of free-to-play games, and there are so many free-to-play elements in there. And you really have to want those things to care about it. I really liked it. I think that's actually to its strengths, because what they've done is taken a lot of what free-to-play does well, that charm, that personality, that stuff that occurs over days and you want to see the end of. And they've not put a price tag on it.
All
I
right.
think that's quite nice. But you really have to give a shit. That's the problem there.
Yeah.
And I think Tomodachi Life is different, but
We'll hear more about that once
once we're allowed to talk.
I
about
think
it.
it does come
allowed.
down to the emotional investment in Pocket Football Club,
Yeah.
because it's like you say, like you grow attached to these players, but it depends on how attached you grow to them. If you grow attached to the point that you genuinely give a shit about every single one of them,
Yeah.
then I think that's why some people are getting into it more than we are. That they're happy to sit and watch these players and go, "Oh, come on, Fred, come on!" Like all the wee guys like it, and like are genuinely emotionally invested in each of them. I think it's the people that are getting that far into it.
I do have one player I love.
Yeah.
He's called Svoboda. And he's
prick.
incredibly fast, but terrible in almost every other respect, and really angry. He gets sent off a lot. And I don't think there's an anger stat, so it must just be random. But I characterised him as this like terrifying
Yeah.
midget on the wing. And he's brilliant, and I like looking at him. He's got a great moustache. Svoboda's great. I think fellow games reviewer Chris Schilling has him as well, and says he's just the same, which is really nice, knowing that across all these games, Svoboda is always an asshole. It's great. So that's Nintendo Pocket Football Club. It's all
What
right.
else have you been playing, all of you?
Someone else say something. I've spoken a lot.
Christ, I think I've only been playing Hearthstone.
Chris,
Jesus,
what have you been playing?
I've been.
Don't say Mario Golf, because no
I've
one
been-
cares about Mario
I've
Golf.
been playing Mario Golf.
I
But I've also
care
been
about Mario
playing.
Golf.
Mario Golf's alright. I've also been playing World Cup, which I think we spoke about in great depth.
Did.
Oh, I remember what I have. Sorry, go on.
That's right. I've been noticing some more flaws with it over time as more people have been playing it.
I know. Everyone knows.
I heard you on the
We've been
last-
seeing it on Twitter.
I heard you on the last podcast saying the pub bits were rubbish. I was really excited for the pub
The
bits.
pub bits are still rubbish, but
Oh.
the typical FIFA broken commentary is kind of starting to come to the fore now and all that kind of stuff like that.
This is the thing I don't get. I don't know much about commentary systems and stuff, but when you play, what's the basketball game everyone likes at the moment?
NBA 2K.
Yeah, that one, and the NHL games as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are noticeably incredible commentary tracks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Really
Stunning,
reactive, intelligent stuff. I don't understand how FIFA, their biggest franchise, still doesn't have that. Like,
And
they
it's-
have
it's
lots of
just-
really interesting little nuggets, but it
Yeah.
never seems to tie together.
I mean, it's more the fact I don't have a problem with the commentary itself. Like you say, it seems a bit bitty, but it's the fact that for at least 6 or 7 years now, it has consistently provided just wrong commentary. Like I've playing through an online World Cup and I got to the semi-final, and as they came out of the semi-final, the World Cup's sitting at the side of the pitch, and it plays the cutscene for the final, as if I was playing in the final, and it says semi-final match, and the World Cup's sitting there, and I'm going, this is really fucking weird. Played the match, and the commentary was saying, yeah, it's a semi-final match. Played the match, won it. They started playing the celebration as if they'd won the World Cup, so they're holding the cup up and everything. and the commentator saying, "Oh, they're through to the final now. They've only got one more thing." It's like, okay, this is a bit fucking weird. So I then played the final match, right? And again, the World Cup was at the side of the pitch, and it came and won the game again. I was playing the cutscene again where we're holding the World Cup for the second time that tournament, and the commentator saying, "Oh, they've made it through to the semi-finals now. Only a couple more games before." I'm like,
wow,
"I
that's
fucking
really
won it!"
weird.
And then just like, and this has happened
Although,
quite.
Chris, to be fair, I mean, football commentary has come a long way since ISS 64.
Oh,
No foul, says the referee.
There's a Twitter. I think we might have mentioned this before.
Yeah.
That there's a Twitter feed called, I think it's just called the ISS 64
It's
commentary.
an incredible Twitter feed. You have to follow
Yeah,
it.
it's a disappointing performance by Ireland.
Yeah.
Pro Evo 1's still the best, though. The sun is shining, but the wind is whistling through the stadium. Every game. Every single
The Japanese,
I like that.
one of the 1 in 11 games on GameCube. It was the only Pro Evo game that was on GameCube. Was in Japan. It was 1 in 11, 6 or 7 or something like that. And the commentary in that was amazing, because we when I was at Official Nintendo magazine for the first couple of years, it was the only kind of,
traitor.
well, sorry, it was the only chance we
Not
had.
now,
to,
guys.
It was,
You
only,
started off by almost starting to challenge that. Well, and then
No.
just went, sorry.
it was the only chance we had to play Pro Evo at lunchtime, because we all love Pro Evo, but we wanted to stay faithful to Nintendo, so we imported the Japanese 1 in 11, and the commentary in that was incredible because it's all Japanese, but every now and then he would say something in English.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. So
Oh,
you'd
amazing.
play through ball and he'd go, he's talking Japanese and he'd just go, "Nice idea."
That's awesome.
And sometimes when you're just playing it, and if you tackle someone, and take it past someone else, the commentator would go, "Oi oi oi oi."
I like he's having a go at
That's
him.
exactly how he does it.
We're so racist.
Best commentary.
You're
Go on
so
YouTube.
racist.
That's right.
Go on YouTube and look for Joe Montana Sports Talk Football on the Mega Drive, because that
Right.
was the first attempt to do proper commentary in a game. So there's loads of commentary in it, but it sounds atrocious, and it's been pieced together by
It's all that strange, like, digitized.
yeah. So it's pieced
stuff.
together, and the guys are, the score is the New York Giants 62, the San Francisco 49ers zip.
I think I remember that.
This is
actually.
amazing. Look at
There was, I think, FIFA 12. If you changed it to like Italian, the commentator sounded a bit like a sex pest,
Oh.
especially when he said like Arshavin's name. He's Arshavin.
I liked Martin Tyler on FIFA 12, the way he said Yobo. He went, Yobo.
There was, I think it was it Trevor Brooking on Pro Evo 2012 or something? If you if someone did a long ball and you volleyed the long ball, occasionally he'd just go,
yes, I know this.
horrifying exhalation. It was great.
There was a
Great noise.
So funny.
That is a great noise.
FIFA 96 on the PlayStation, which is the first one on the first PlayStation, had a glitch if you went Celtic, where every time Charlie Nicholas got the ball, John Watts would shout, "What a shot by Nicholas!" And, so, and he would always kick off. Charlie Nicholas would always kick off for Celtic. So every single Celtic game would start with, "And a kick off. What a shot by Nicholas!" As soon as he
That's awesome.
That's fucking broken. My party piece at high school used to be doing Barry Davies commentary from Actual Soccer.
Oh.
Every time you'd hit a shot, his voice would sound exactly the same, but he obviously was just given a script to all the names on it and just had to say them all as if he takes a
Like
shot.
what? So go
So
on.
if you're playing as Portugal or something, go "Já Pinto, Cadete." You know? every single player would say exactly this. Rui Costa. Every single
Rui
one.
Costa.
They all sounded exactly. It's amazing.
Tamora, have you been playing anything? You play stuff sometimes.
I just play Dark Souls constantly. Dark Souls 2. I'm about 25 hours in, and I'm
Wow.
like level 85 or 86 or something. And I'm still in
Manager again.
I'm still in
Dark
the,
Souls.
I'm still in the starting area of the game.
By the way, is anyone playing? Is anyone
Fucking
playing
no
on
way.
the Xbox One or the PS4? 'Cause
Yeah.
I haven't really used them this year.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I don't
Still,
know.
I'm
Every
still-
now and then I bust out Towerfall and on PS4, which is
we
good.
could talk
Oh,
so
we could talk
long
about
about
Tower.
You're all gonna laugh, but I'm still dipping into Rise every now and then.
Oh,
No,
wow.
you're not.
Genuinely.
I'm actually glad that someone's actually playing next gen games.
Yeah,
'cause I've kind of lost a little bit of interest. To be
Go
honest.
between Rise and Trials Fusion on PS4.
Mm.
Titanfall every now and then. It's all right.
I couldn't get into that game.
It's good. I just feel like it needs more to it. If it feels
You had this conversation last week.
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah.
I'm kind of with you. I think the thing about Titanfall is it's such a pleasant feeling game.
Yeah.
Like even when you're losing, this is such an old hat comment by this point, but even when you're losing, you always feel like something you're doing is right
Yeah.
because there are the grunts and because that freedom of movement gives you such a feeling of power. It really I'm not sure whether there needs to be more. I kind of agree with you that it is quite limited, but I don't feel like there has to be more to it. It's sort of
How many?
What?
How many?
Chris has burst out into
I just went
laughter.
away on one there. Just when you started talking. for the longest time, it sounded like you were talking about sex as well. Because you're saying even when you're losing, it feels so right. Even the grunts. It's just like, oh,
How old are
sorry.
you, Chris?
Well, come on.
So how many monies did Respawn pay you to say that?
about 8 or 9 monies.
8 or 9 monies.
I
That
think
sounds
so.
like-
It didn't even pay for my download. That was
Oh,
like 20
man.
monies.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I've been playing that. What's the game I've been playing on my friggin' iPhone? I'm always on my iPhone. Hitman Go is quite good.
Someone was talking about that. Is that
yeah.
the weird board game one?
Yeah, it's very strange. It's like Hitman, turn-based, but it's like every level is a diorama, and it looks really
wow.
nice.
That sounds
And like you
great.
have to move, you move one place at a time. But every time you move, every enemy in the actual stage will also move. So it's kind of like you got to figure
Like a
out
dungeon
their
crawler
patterns.
kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
See,
but
that
you've-
is a single puzzle in Leighton versus Wright.
yeah, but it's kind of cool because like it gives you like objectives on each one, which is like pick up the briefcase, move in less than get to the goal in less than 10 moves. And
Is this like a 3-star thing?
yeah, kind of, yeah. But what happens is like you move around and each one has a set pattern, but you can alter the pattern by doing things like you might find like a tennis ball. You pick up a tennis ball and it'll tell you where you can throw it. You throw the tennis ball and it'll make a noise, and any enemy within that range will change their pattern to kind of investigate the noise and then stay around that area. So you can manipulate
Okay, I'm
the
going to
AI.
download this now.
It's really good.
Is available on Android as well?
Android,
As
I think it's available on Android. I'm not sure, but the iPad one looks really, really nice,
I'll
and
definitely
it's
give that a
quite
try
cheap
then.
as well. It's quite challenging because like what I am impressed by, it manages to capture the spirit of Hitman, where you're kind of very carefully watching routines and trying to adapt your own playstyle and manipulate the AI, but it does it in this weird kind of and in a style of game that's so far from the original that it's it's almost like a different game experience completely, but it still manages to do that. It captures the feel, and I feel like I'm playing a Hitman game just without the killing. I haven't killed anyone yet. I'm about 2 boards in, so every level is like a different board game setting. Yeah, it's worth playing. It's good.
By the way, did you mention Fables, Wolf Among Us last week.
I haven't played it. Have you played the latest episode?
I have.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
Is it
it's
just without
really,
spoiling it? Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good.
doesn't
Yeah. It's
look
not
as
as good as
convinced.
the
Joe
other
doesn't look-
episodes in the series.
First episode's still the best. They
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
captured what the first episode did again, which is
Yeah.
really interesting conversations.
Yeah.
Like I want a Telltale game where there's no mystery. I just want to be in a place and chat with people and have them. I want it to be like a life sim.
Have you
made
read the-
entirely
have you
out of
read the
conversations.
comics?
That'd be amazing.
But you don't dislike this
I
the
love
Fables
it. I think
series,
it's
right?
brilliant. But they haven't.
I understand
the first
what you're
episode
saying.
Had,
I
like,
think-
that whole section with the pig was great.
You were
Like,
promised so much.
I wanted just.
I think a
orcs.
lot of that is relying on the strength of the idea of Fables and the characters that are those, because all those characters are pre-existing characters.
Yeah.
So I think if you're looking for that kind of interesting dynamic and dialogue between these two characters who are like Fables, it's worth reading the comics.
I probably will because I'm
Yeah.
really into it. But it makes me sad that they seem to be tapping into something
Yeah.
that Walking Dead couldn't do, and I always kind of wanted it to, which is that sense that you're with a load of people, and yet your conversations are always to a goal as opposed to just finding out who everyone is.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what they were getting to. And then the mystery stuff. The mystery's great, and this episode is pretty excellent, barring the strange time limit thing at the end. You're kind
Yeah.
of given a time limit, and you have to investigate.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know how
places.
impactful that is.
Well, it's not, because
Yeah.
it gives you this sense that you're going to have to... I thought it was going to be an actual ticking clock at all times, and I was like, this is brilliant.
See, the second episode did that as well, didn't it? Where you could investigate either go to the frog's house, I forgot their names now, or you can go to the other area where the character's been killed. Did that? And I went to I think I did one and then the other. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Does it really impact?
So in this one, the idea is that there are 3 places, and you think you'll only be able to do 2. I could only do 2 for whatever reason. Some people managed all 3 in that time,
Right.
which for a start ruins the entire kind of prospect of it anyway. But the idea that you're given a countdown clock, and then it's like, oh, but it doesn't really matter how long you take anywhere because it just counts down an arbitrary amount of time the next time you go somewhere. So that annoyed me a bit. But the actual the plot of it is still really interesting.
Right.
But it feels like a midpoint now. It feels like an episode 3.
I completely agree with what Dre's saying. Like, I think too much of episode 3 was about just unlocking doors and going down different roads and just uncovering different things. But there wasn't really a sense of place, and there wasn't really a sense of purpose. And also, the thing where the main criticism about American TV shows, which is, only one thing happens across an entire fucking series, and they stretch that out across an entire series. Like, there are literally episodes where nothing happens.
Yeah.
In this episode, I guess nothing really happens. You start not knowing who the killer is. Bit of a spoiler here. You end not really knowing who the killer is. There's really no sense of progress.
Not in terms of the investigation. I think there are a couple of standout conversations.
I didn't learn anything really.
Not well.
Apart from this character exists, this character exists.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
learn anything
fair.
about myself. I didn't learn anything about Snow White.
This is the problem: is it's really hard to talk about The Wolf Among Us without
it's all plot,
dipping
isn't it?
straight into spoilers. But
Yeah.
it's still really good. It's just not hit the heights, and I really hope it can, because it's a series that I think had the potential to be more interesting than Walking Dead. I don't think it will reach that now, which is sad because I think. And it's beautiful as well.
The music is awesome as well.
Such a good looking, they've captured that ambience so well. And I wanted it to be this. I want it to be the thing where I can go, just look at this. This is changing stuff, and it's not got there.
Well, speaking of things changing stuff, this week was also the 25th anniversary of the Game Boy, which was released in April 1989 in Japan. And to celebrate, I played my favourite Game Boy game, which was Donkey Kong, which is...
You mean
but it's so... The Game Boy version is so underrated because... You played the Game Boy one?
No.
When we first started, it's available on Virtual Console, so we can get it now on 3DS. You start it and the first level is the first level from the arcade one.
Sure.
And you think, oh fuck, I've just bought the arcade game here with its 4 levels. This is dog
4?
shit. The NES one had 3, but the arcade version had 4.
What was the 4th one in the arcade?
There was the third level was a custard. It wasn't like a custard pie factory, but it looked like a custard pie factory. There was things going by. You didn't get it on the NES version.
I've never
But you got
seen
it in the
that
arcade
before.
one. But anyway, so you play through those 4 levels and you think, I've been fucking gypped here. This is the arcade one. I've just paid at the time, 30 quid for 4 levels here.
Oh,
And you think this is hellish.
painful.
So you do the last level where you take away the floors and Donkey Kong falls and you go, and he gets up and grabs Pauline and fucks off, and you go, all right, okay. And it does like a score thing. It gives you your score for the 4 levels and says, basically then says world 04 complete, world 1-1, and you go, what? And it opens up a new map screen, and it's like a totally new level. And it then turns out there's like another 90 odd levels in it. And it's a totally massive game, and that was literally just the
Bait and
prologue.
switch.
So and it ends up being the first game in the Mario versus Donkey Kong series. So there's stuff like you're picking up bins and throwing them at things, you're climbing ropes and doing kind
Wow.
of flipping round horizontal bars and all that kind of stuff. And it ends up being like easily one of the best games on the Game Boy. It's an amazing platformer.
That sounds really good.
Definitely, if anyone's not played it, get it. It's an amazing.
What are your
amazing
favorite
platformer.
Game Boy games? Or game?
Including Game Boy Color.
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't know. Maybe we should include.
I never
If
do,
we
but
include
most
Game Boy
people
Color,
do.
I can, and Game Boy Advance.
Go on.
Oh, Game Boy Advance.
come on now.
Come on. Let's not be stupid.
That's like saying what's your favourite NES game?
Okay,
well, if I can include GameCube.
I never had a Game Boy. I never had a Game Boy Color either.
My first one was a color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a color. Pokemon Gold, but yeah.
Damn, I had yellow.
I had yellow.
That's the best one. But if we're including Game Boy Advance games, Metroid Fusion.
I've so
Advance
got
Wars.
to play that game.
Advance
If we're
Wars,
including,
No, it's not
if
Advance
we're
Wars. It's
including 3DS
WarioWare
games and Fire Emblem.
No, but that's not called. That's called a Nintendo 3DS. It's not called
If
a
that's
Game Boy.
Advance though, that's
Doesn't matter. Fine, Game Boy, Metroid. There.
Metroid
Oh, Metroid on the Game Boy
Metroid
was
2.
rancid.
I know, but that's the only one I can remember right now.
I played
Tetris.
Sonic on the Game Gear.
I had Sonic 2 on the Game Gear.
Yeah, I had
it was
Sonic. on the
Never
Game
got
Gear.
past the first world, I don't think. I was
difficult,
so
wasn't
bad
it?
at Sonic.
Did you have that TV tuner for the Game Gear?
Yeah.
I never had that, no.
What was the fucking point? I mean,
The Game Gear was cool. It was like a big slab of fun.
Yeah, but
I had James Pond on there.
at the risk,
Castlevania.
at the risk of repeating an old joke, it did eat sweets like 8 batteries like Curly Whirlies.
Curly Whirly.
Yeah,
Curly Whirly.
I think that's a natural breaking point.
Right,
We've
let's
hit
go.
The Curly Whirly reference.
Let's go. Let's do some quick questions.
Okay.
Oh, we
I
just
put-
got straight questions. Do we not set topics on this show
No,
anymore?
no.
Why not? That was fun.
Because people are bad.
They're
So
lovely
just-
people.
yeah.
Keep on
Chucking.
asking us
Okay,
questions.
so first question is from Baladir, who asked,
Baladir.
Awesome.
who firstly corrects a typo that I made.
Oh, bad.
Oh,
idea.
Tamor.
I've changed
Who
my,
subbed
I've changed
that
my
article?
tune.
Who subbed
Literally.
No, it was in a forum thread. I did it like
Right.
late, early this morning before I had my coffee. So a Nintendo game with day one DLC and a season pass, should we be worried?
No.
Yes.
This is a reference to Mario Golf.
Yeah, it would be a reference to our goal.
You think
So-
people need to be worried?
I mean, they in terms of what they want, then I guess yes, they should, because it's a sign of things to come.
It's a very strange prevailing attitude. I know this comes with all the ballast of me writing about.
Oh, here
it
we
and stuff,
go.
but
Nintendo
there's a-
Defense
no,
Force.
hello. There's a very strange prevailing attitude. There's this
Why should
odd
that be a
idea that
face?
Nintendo being different means they have to not do things.
Yeah,
And
no,
Nintendo
no,
are the company
absolutely.
that are the best at doing things. Like, the idea that Nintendo has to not ever do DLC because that will tarnish them is very strange to me. The idea of Nintendo doing DLC excites me because they generally, I believe they could do it better than anyone else.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know,
Fire Emblem has very simple DLC packs. You unlock battles. But there are like 24 of them, and they can completely change the game if you buy them halfway through. So they're kind of act as strange like stat buffs or like story additions, and there are loads of different types. There's something there for everyone who wants to do different
so
things
the,
in Fire
the
Emblem.
DLC
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah, it's just
it's
really
more.
intelligently
I
implemented.
think it's more the way it's been presented in this case. I agree that in the past, like when New Super Mario Bros. 2 had DLC coin rush packs, they didn't come until like a couple of months after the game had come out, and you clearly got this sense that Nintendo have been working on this since the game was released. It's the day one thing that I think is surprising a lot of people, because you had Iwata a couple of years ago. I found a quote from him saying,
We won't hold stuff back.
when he was first talking about DLC, saying we will never release a game and hold stuff back and say that's going to be for DLC. And now we've got Nintendo telling us, even a week or two before the game comes out, by the way, on day one, you'll be able to buy these 2 extra courses in the character. A couple of weeks after that, you'll be able to buy another 2 courses, and a couple of weeks after that, another 2 courses, and also releasing a trailer showing you like the last set. So like it's ready. The courses are there, the characters are there. They're just waiting with it. That seems odd. Like when they do it right. If Mario Kart 8 comes out and they decide 3 months down the line, by the way, we're now going to start doing retro versions of all the other tracks that we haven't included in the game, all the other retro tracks, I'll fucking throw my wallet at Iwata and tell him what the pin code is and just tell him to go fucking mental. But
You got a pin code on your wallet.
Yeah.
He'd be like,
it's a pretty high tech
do you know
wallet.
how much money I have? I don't need you.
It doesn't matter. But I mean, I agree with what Joe's saying in that if anyone is going to do DLC properly in this game, Mario Golf aside, I think Nintendo are the ones to do it. Have you seen this baseball game?
Rusty's Real Deal.
Rusty's Real Deal. Have you heard of this?
No.
And it just came out in the American eShop about a month or 2 ago. And it actually, it's kind of free to play thing, but it consists of like 12 or 14 or some mini games, and each one is individual DLC that you have to pay for, right? And at the start,
they're all like $4.
yeah, and at the start, each of these 12 or 14 DLC packs is $4, like $4 mini games basically. And you think that's quite a lot. That's like $40 or something for the whole thing. And you go to buy the first one, and there's like I think it's a dog or
it's
some
a
sort.
weird sort of grubby dog.
Yeah,
called
and he
Rusty.
says to you, you could buy this for $4, but you could kind of, if you want, you can kind of talk me around it if you want to do a bit of haggling, blah blah blah. And it almost becomes a mini game in itself that you need to learn what to say to make the dog happy.
It's like a tiny life sim where you can give him gifts and stuff.
Yeah, and eventually, eventually you can haggle down the price of each mini game.
The real world price.
The real world price.
So you
can give him $4 if you're a fucking idiot, or you can butter him up and say, oh yeah, give him the things he wants and say
Isn't
the things
that
he
a great
wants
idea?
until eventually the whole game. If you've done this with every mini game and haggled each one down to the right price, the whole game ends up costing like $16 or something, like well more than half what you would cost if you think I can't be arsed with this, just take my money. So it actually introduces haggling to the game.
I think that's a fantastic.
It's kind of strange.
Absolute genius.
If you look at the way Nintendo have approached downloadable content and this kind of thing in the last year or so, it's almost as though each game they release is another experiment into how they could do it in the future. It's kind of strange if you look at how many different ways they've tried. So they've had standard DLC packs, they've had the day one stuff, they've had this weird approach of Rusty's Real Deal, they've had the free to play trial, followed by a full purchase with Steel Diver. It's like they're testing
the Street Pass games as well.
And the Street Pass games as well.
Where the rabbit comes out and takes out a mini tablet and shows you what.
I think I'm going to take back what I said then. No, honestly, because they're very convincing points.
Well, that's why Mario Golf.
I don't think people should be that worried, especially if Nintendo are taking such an inventive approach.
Yeah, that's why Mario Golf's so surprising because
it could be good for the industry as a whole.
Joe won me over when he said Nintendo is the best at doing stuff. Fair enough.
No,
yeah.
they are. They are. I mean, that's why Mario Golf is so jarring. It is because I've said it in my review. It's so uncharacteristic that even with stuff like DLC, Nintendo has been showing we're going to try different stuff with it, and all of a sudden it's just like it's fucking a season pass. And day one DLC it's a complete opposite of what you would expect.
We could get into reviewy territory about Mario Golf.
We're
allowed to.
Yeah,
we're allowed to. But what I'm saying is, this might take a while. But the point is, Mario Golf is an uncharacteristic game for Nintendo in a lot of ways.
It is.
But I did also ask, who do you want to see playable in Smash Brothers? Joe? Short and sweet. Who is it and why?
They've done loads now.
Yeah. Any character in the world.
Hana Samurai from the small eShop game because he's got a sword.
Okay. Chris?
Neil Buchanan from Art Attack.
Oh, right, we're going outside of Nintendo.
Rob?
I've got loads.
Pass.
Okay, I want Hip Hop Gamer.
Newt King. Shots fired!
It's your boy Hip Hop Gamer.
Every time he does a smash attack, shots fired!
It's a fucking great one.
What's the best studio you've ever visited?
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road. Okay.
I've not been to many because I write about Nintendo.
Rob?
Valve.
I've never been.
I visited. My favourite is actually Yuke's in Japan because
you've been to Yuke's.
I've been to Yuke's.
Fuck.
And they've got a just for those who don't know,
what is it like? Is it massive?
Yuke's are the company that make the WWE games. It's not as big as you think, but it's the fact
How
that
big is the team?
it was a pretty big team, but a lot of them were testers. But you go, they got a tour of the office, right? The studio. And they've got fucking this was years ago. This was like 7 years ago. But they had loads of tapes, like VHS tapes, in a big library of wrestling stuff. And there was a guy making the Undertaker's entrance for the next WWE game, and he had a video of the Undertaker, and he kept playing it over and over again of the Undertaker coming down, and he was changing the animation, like modifying the animation to suit him.
Dream studio. This
and but like the hallway, not hallway, the kind of lobby has got. It's got like a steel chair signed by Vince McMahon.
Steel chair,
and like photos of all the people that had visited, but it wasn't like you could tell no.
Your excitement starting to sound really disingenuous.
No,
a steel chair by Vince McMahon. They've got a window. Oh, a window.
You sound like JR. Yeah.
Don't do it!
Oh my God!
Stop the damn tour!
But it was really charming though, because they were really proud of their kind of wall in the lobby. It's like, this is all the WWE superstar or WWF at the time superstars that have come to visit us. And it was like, you could tell none of the A-listers would ever like travel all the way to Japan just to see. So they had a photo of all the fucking staff out like smiling with Tori Wilson, like standing with a copy of the game. You're like, oh, fucking hell, is that?
That's weird. It's but not as weird to a kebab shop I went to in Hackney where they had just a picture of David Swimmer.
Nice.
No real reason, just a picture of him on the wall.
I've never been, but have any of you seen Level 5's headquarters in Japan?
No.
It's madness. It looks like a cross between a sort of the sort of guy who brings people back from nightclubs a lot to his swanky house.
And like in
a little bit. Does it smell a bit?
Not quite
off?
Taken.
Are you talking about Marco from Tapoya?
No, like in a really classy way, like way too smooth. Like a lot of white leather about.
Like Quagmire's house.
A bit like Quagmire's house.
The kind of place
and
Zach
also,
Brannigan would live.
Yeah, and also sort of a lair, like an evil lair of some kind.
This is slightly defamatory now.
No, it's not. It looks incredible, but like really strange for a games developer to look like some
Fishy
sort
Ginger
of future palace.
Fishy Ginger asks Nescafe or Kenko?
I don't drink coffee.
Kenko, because Nescafe is evil.
The Last Dodo says, following The Last of Us PS4.
I don't work for CVG, fuck it.
What games?
Nescafe is fine, other brands are also available.
Last Dodo says, what games from the last gen do you think actually need a next-gen remaster to deliver the true experience?
Silent Hill, Shattered Memories.
Are we talking about next-gen? Are we talking about next-gen remasters? Because talking to the dude who's making the new version of the Oddworld game, Oddworld New and Tasty, and he's very clear on the fact that he's rebooting his first game, not remaking it. They're redoing every single asset and the game, new puzzles, different takes on stuff.
Yeah.
So if we're talking like HD remakes, that could just be something you want to look a bit nicer.
Yeah, exactly.
In which case, I don't know, like.
But most games would qualify for that, and
but
not like compellingly. I mean, it's just most games would look a bit better.
Yeah. So if you go like last gen, I don't know, something where the gameplay didn't quite work, but you always wanted it to be better than it was.
The only thing I can think of is something that was overly ambitious.
Yeah.
That was so ambitious graphically that it just fucks up.
Oh, not even graphically.
Skyrim.
Like
Aliens, Colonial Marines.
Aliens, Colonial Marines. Oh, yeah, forget last gen counts as stuff that I've actually played.
Maybe Skyrim then.
Yeah.
Maybe Skyrim is a pretty good candidate, actually.
Well, they've already done that on PC.
Skyrim is a pretty good version.
People have finished that on PC for them.
True, yeah.
Daedalus 79.
Oh, right.
we're moving on.
Do you notice that the Mario Golf DLC is all N64 courses as well?
Is it?
Back to Mario Golf.
All
back to Nintendo.
Okay.
I'm just saying, just because we're talking about reboots.
Complaints about talking about Nintendo.
It's because we're talking about reboots. Some of them are based on New Super Mario Brothers Wii areas, but they are Mario Golf N64 courses redesigned. Yeah,
that's just Camelot showing off.
Yeah.
Daedalus 79 asks, is Evolve as good as my brain is making it sound?
Not played it.
So dull.
It
does.
It's going to be an unpopular opinion.
Devolve. Oh,
Rob is having a brain fart, so we're just going to say no.
It's not. No, it's not going to be. It's going to be 8 out of 10. Hang on. That sounds really corrupt.
Jesus.
No. What I mean is, what I fucking
have you already got the money?
We can give that
racist free-to-play whale. Rob Crossley gives 8 out of 10.
Racist free-to-play whale.
Cream Puff Crossley says 8 out of 10.
Cream Puff Crossley.
No, that's Tamoor. That's Cream Puff.
Or your Cassius Crossley.
Evolve to me just looks like the least
Yeah.
characterful game with characters in it.
I agree. 8 out of 10.
I just
No, I
Did you
think
know what I didn't know about
I think
it was
its ambition is limited to a point. So it's a really great idea for a mod.
no, that is
God damn.
That was like
it's
that-
4 players versus 1 in a multiplayer arena. There's not much more to it than
That's a
that.
veiled compliment.
Did you
And
know
we used to
what
get
I-
all the time at O&M? Yeah, the graphics are really good for a Wii game. It's like, fuck off.
I didn't know that for each class there are multiple characters. Like there's another healer, there's
Okay.
a bunch of new healers.
right.
There's a bunch of new like hunters. I didn't know that. I thought that was
I
it.
did
and that
not
is-
know that.
There's a whole
But if
single
they're
player
all-
campaign apparently.
But if they're all still the same character models,
I
then
feel like
fuck
it
they
needs-
look
it needs-
so boring.
It looks like it needs an injection of Team Fortress 2 kind of like personality to it.
It's like the opposite of Fuse. Fuse looked really good beforehand. I want them to change it into something realistic and gritty at this point because I just think those like cartoony models look.
I think
Awful.
the game runs really solidly and it doesn't make any major errors. But yeah, you're right.
That's it.
I-
It's a
I'm-
not making errors.
It's
game.
so capable. It's
I'm
so
really excited
B+.
about it because even if it's a bit, not all that, co-op makes every game like twice as better.
Yeah, that's another warning sign.
wink
Really,
at me.
considering that this is only co-op and people weren't going crazy about it.
Right. On Facebook, Matt Jones asked if you could have a 10 in any special stat from Fallout in real life, what would it be?
I
the
don't
catch
remember what
is-
the difference
The stats.
between the stats are. There's
Don't
two
you
different
remember?
sets of
There's
stats
like-
in Fallout, aren't there?
Yeah.
I don't remember any
I
Fallout
just
stats.
bloody mess.
That's a perk.
I thought that's what he's talking about. Fuck that
A
question.
10 is like no intelligence. INT. That's a special stat, right?
Endurance, because then giggity giggity.
Okay, you're in a nightclub, right?
CVG Off The Record.
Yeah, you're in a nightclub.
Mhm.
You introduce yourself as Cream Puff.
Bloody mess.
And how you go... Oh, right. Next fucking question.
10 out of 10 END, baby.
Kyle Douglas
Jesus.
asked corn dogs or hot dogs, which is the superior dog?
I've never
Corn
had a corn
dogs.
dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
corn dog's delicious. So
Sonic
you
the
feel-
Hedgehog likes corn dogs.
No, he likes chili dogs.
I'm sure he liked
No,
corn dogs
yeah,
at
it's
one
chili
point.
dogs. It's chili dogs.
Chili dogs.
I'm sure at one point during the Archie comics run, he liked corn dogs.
For
I'm
real,
fucking
though.
getting on
And
that.
Sonic
Everyone
the
should eat
Hedgehog
corn
is the
dogs.
most inconsistent motherfucker in the games
That's your
industry.
big problem with
Yeah.
the guy.
It's just not believable.
Sometimes he wants to go fast. Sometimes he's just like plodding along.
Sometimes he's actually got to go fast.
Thoughts on the sacking of David Moyes?
He'll come to Celtic next.
I think it's about time.
I thought he was a criminal when people were talking about him. Like, I thought this guy must have done some heinous crime.
Almost everyone joking about it.
I'm telling you now. This is the chain of events that will happen next. Norwich will stay up. Neil Lennon will come into Norwich.
Yeah.
Moyes will go to Celtic.
Then we'll give Evolve an 8.
Yeah, Evolve 8.
Ashley Winterbottom says, just bought a SNES. What do you think about that? I think that's a very good thing to have done. Recommend a game for him to play on the SNES.
On the SNES.
Oh my god.
Well, if you're counting the GameCube.
Cybernate. Not Cybernator.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I was gonna-
Cybernator's good.
I was thinking Cybernator, but what I meant in that tone of
Protector.
voice was Super Metroid.
Yeah.
But I was still thinking about Cybernator.
Super Metroid.
But Super Metroid,
Super
obviously.
Metroid, yeah.
Chris?
Super Metroid.
Jesus.
Super Pro Protector.
Oh, such a great game.
That's a
such,
good game.
Such a great game.
Robert?
Pilot Wings.
Now you're talking. We're getting into the music. We're getting into Pilot Wings music.
Earthbound?
You can't. Well, it
Can we
depends
just
where
carry
it
on
is.
doing this? Because this is great.
Depends where they are.
Yeah. Mario Kart.
Super Mario All Stars.
Street
well,
Fighter 2?
I mean, Super Mario World and
Street Fighter 2.
Yoshi's
Because
Island.
Street Fighter
Yeah.
or Street Fighter
kind
2.
of done for months.
Either Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter 2 Turbo because they
Yeah.
had a good announcer. Don't get Super Street Fighter 2 because that announcer was pish.
The announcer on
Um,
Super Street Fighter was just a young boy.
Yeah, because it went from Japan
Yeah.
to India, England. That guy is a prick.
But what is it?
USSR.
Yeah.
That guy's a
Yeah.
prick.
That guy is a prick. He's
Brazil.
He's a
to,
smug
to go
motherfucker.
from like a mean sounding guy like
Yeah.
fucking Thailand and then just to go to a fucking drip, just go like, Spain.
When you said Thailand, Thailand started in his voice. When you said land, you sounded like you were on Suckerball Street. That was intense.
Thailand, you prick. No, that's
Chrono Trigger.
oof.
It's a really good one.
It's a good
Cool
shit.
spot on
Sounds good.
SNES.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get cool
That was-
spot.
Unirally.
Aladdin.
7-Up.
Yeah, I was just about to say Aladdin
Oh,
because it was Capcom that did that one and it
Yeah.
was totally different from the Mega Drive one.
Lion-
Get both
Those
Aladdins.
genie stages, man. Still amazing.
Yeah.
Lion
Yeah.
King.
Now.
Lion King.
Oh,
was
Lion
on there,
King was
wasn't
good.
it?
Had
Lion
the
King was a good
giraffes.
game.
Yeah.
Unirally is really good.
Because Lion King was before
That's good, yeah.
Dave Perry formed Shiny. and
Yonky
did
Dong.
Earthworm Jim.
Oh, Donkey Kong Country.
Interesting.
Uh,
That's what I said.
We're
Dong.
stealing someone else's jokes.
Yeah.
Diddy Kong Country. Is it called Diddy Kong?
Diddy Kong Country. What's
Donkey
this
Kong
part
Country
of
2. Sorry.
Diddy's Conquest.
Diddy Kong. Okay, yep. Killer Instinct was all right. I thought it was. Which is what, yeah.
The only good thing Killer Instinct ever does was being a surefire bet in Salty Bet. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Those digital sprites were incredible.
Killer
in
Instinct and
Salty
Dragon
Bet.
Ball Z. Always bet on Dragon Ball Z.
Not always.
Always. Yeah, but it was always bet on
Sorry,
Dragon
what
Ball
is
Z.
Salty
And
Bet?
then,
You
and
don't
then,
know what Salty
and
Bet
then never
is?
bet
No.
on Dragon
Oh,
Are
Ball
you
Z.
serious?
The
Do
resurgence
you remember the
starts here.
fighting
We're
game
playing
thing?
Salty Bet.
Do you not remember?
Always bet on waifu. Never bet on waifu.
Is it about wanking?
No.
Only in your head. Do you
It's
remember?
basically- do you know what
the
Mugen
fighting
is?
thing a few months ago where
Oh, yes.
where people would bet on who would win the fighting?
Do you know what
game?
Mugen is?
You
Yes.
must remember this.
Mugen is a
Yes, I do,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. So someone took that, integrated Twitch support, streamed into it, and then just entered a betting system.
Oh.
and then
For
left
fake
them on like
dollars.
fake dollars. and
Salty
You'd
bets.
bet. You'd bet. Yeah.
That salty bet.
Oh, I thought you meant salty bet. I didn't realize you were talking about salty bet.
Fucking Salty Bet.
Yeah.
Let's go and play Salty Bet.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that, yeah.
Maybe Towerful first.
No.
Thank you for listening to CVG Off The Record. Please subscribe to us on iTunes and anywhere else that you can find a subscribe button. Find us on Twitter at twitter.com/CVG_news. Joe, do you want to plug anything
Come talk to me.
on
I don't care.
at your house?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, thanks for being on the
Goodbye.
show, Joe. As well.
Thank you so much.
Also,
for playing
rate
my
us
game.
5 stars and
That-
review us.
Yeah.
Rate and review.
No.
Rate and review.
Rate and review. Rate and review.
And mention me in the reviews.
Yeah. Just say
You
Joe,
say
Joe,
Joe.
Joe, 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 5 stars.
Yeah. 5 Joes out of Joes.
Cream puff out.